I think for Athletico, they're the one that we want to watch. It's starting to feel a little bit like a two-horse race now for me, Ian, because Ground Zero have really just dropped off the face of the earth, haven't they?
Whoa. It's only day 2, Jordan.
It's the end of day 2.
There's still a whole nother day to go after this. So
yeah.
Tomorrow is, maybe the resurgence for some other teams.
Let's hope so.
Chiefs, they're doing very well today. You can't go past them, right? So now all we care about is who can topple the Chiefs. That's the story going into this game.
Okay.
Athletico, tick, they can do it.
Definitely.
ARCANE, I think they've shown some great signs of excellence there, some form. Order, a late resurgence, perhaps. Just think, tomorrow they go in Order, get 1 or 2 wins. Who knows? They could be the next Chiefs. But, yeah, look, across the board, you got to say, Chiefs doing really well. Really happy with how they've been playing, considering I picked them back in the qualifiers when no one else was talking about them. And, Xenox tried to tell me that it was a lost cause. But that's all right. We're here now, and they're probably going to win.
Just throw him under the bus.
I'm looking like a real
champ?
Yeah, champs? Yeah, I'm a real champ. So.
You're really looking like a bit of a potato right now.
Well,
actually.
I don't mind going on the edge when it comes to my predictions. And,
well,
the last day of this competition will be quite critical.
Quite impactful, really, yeah. But for looking at the drops here, look, nothing too crazy to get worked up about, but that's a very, very interesting circle, right up in the northwestern side of the map. Let's hope we get somewhere like Zaki or something like that.
You could say it's pretty extreme.
Extreme.
Defs. You defs could say that.
I want to stop. I want to stop you right there. I'll be honest.
I'm going to keep on going. So when it comes to the puns, that's where I'll be trying to chime in with what I can. And Jordan, you're just going to have to deal with it. So that is a pretty extreme circle, you'd have to say. But look, that's what we saw in the first game, isn't it? Was it the first game, second game with the military circle? So look, this is going to be hectic. It's going to be hectic. Athletico are going to have to find themselves rotating far away again, just like Ground Zero managed to do time after time, no problems on day 1. Everyone else has gone to their usual positions. Pathogen going towards Yaz now. They've got some vehicles. They're going to cross over with Order because of that flight path. It will take Order quite a while to get to Zaverny, but you'd have to say they're in a good spot.
Greyhound on the early rotate. Very, very quickly here, which is not something that they typically do. Typically, they're the ones looting South Georgia Pole. They've decided to send a couple of players up to North Georgia Pole, which is where no one is right now.
That's right. Yeah, usually you've got Kingdom Gaming in North Georgia, I think, and South Georgia. Everyone knows Greyhounds are there somewhere or thereabouts. Gatka completely Chiefs orientated once again. We got Raging Knights who would have to be absolutely raging with how they've been going so far, and nothing else to blame but Primorsk, so got a feel for them.
Yep.
Intergalactic Lads back towards usual Lipovka. Nothing really different. Nothing different at all. So, Immunity going for their usual spot. 18 car spawns along there, I've been told, so that's their tactic.
Yeah, well,
reasoning for that position.
I like the position that they start off in. To be honest, like I said yesterday, I think they have a really, really nice position on the map. They can go anywhere pretty easily, and like you said, they've got a lot of car spawns around there, but just hasn't really been meshing too well for Immunity throughout these qualifiers, has it? They're still sitting in that middle of the pack. They haven't really had a position in the top 4, apart from the very, very first game that we watched, game number 1, where they did come 4th.
Yep.
Aside from that, they've been really missing out.
Yeah, and I'd have to say they'd be pretty upset. They are pretty upset with how they've been going, but they're looking to do better.
Oh, yeah, not only Immunity, but we're hearing a few teams a little bit upset with how things are going so far today, which is not really, I suppose, surprising.
I can imagine if you're in that bottom 10, you've just got to be looking for something to blame, and who looks really inwards at first chance. What is interesting, though, with Greyhounds taking that North George position, they're going to get into a fight early on with KANGA Esports, and not only that, but Champs has gone on full recon for Chiefs, and he's taken over Diamond, which usually Greyhounds do.
But again and again and again, this is the Chiefs strategy, right? So early on, as soon as they see that first circle, within the first couple of minutes of that circle appearing, they send Champs forward. Occasionally, Champs does get picked off. We saw that in game 1, I think it was, of the entire tournament, but when it works really, really well for the Chiefs. And all Champs has to do here is just fire a couple of bullets off and scare away Carnage, because they're going to think, maybe there's 2 or 3 players in that compound. Let's get the heck out of here. And if the Chiefs can lock down that position once they all rotate in there, again, we're going to see them in a fantastic position early on.
This is a worst-case scenario for Greyhounds. The last thing they want, the way they've been playing, is a fight. They finally feel like they might be getting some circle luck, and now they're going to have a fight against Kingdom Gaming. And now you don't want anyone to be going down here. So you don't want a 3-man squad from the onset when you finally get some circle luck. They've pushed into Kingdom Gaming's usual territory, and now they're going to have to deal with that and try and stay alive for as long as possible while looting up. So Zoid, mate, there you can see just jumping around on the crate still, but he's out on his lonesome, and some people are making the rotate in already, so he could be in quite a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Blackout just going for a bit of a scout there. You could see Champs having a shot at him.
Yep.
dissuading him from coming towards that diamond.
I took your diamond, bro.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Nothing, apparently. Blackout's just going to get out of there.
I don't know how to say bro with a New Zealand accent.
Bro?
Yeah. But we'll get there. Tedesco, he's quite away from home as well, usually down there towards Milta. So
M24 for Zoid, mate. Not going to be complaining about that.
No, definitely one of the most talked about snipers in the game. Linksy, the other. And he's still back at Milta Power looting up. So while the rest of the squad is off on recon, straight past the Povka, they've headed up the east side of the island. They're going to be making their rotate in. Now, that north side of Severny and the east side, rather, towards Stalba, there's a lot of nice compounds there just on the edge of the circle. And I would be hedging my bets that the circle will have to come back that way, obviously, because of the water restrictions.
Yep.
So
looking more towards sort of a Rozok kind of circle, north of Rozok.
Yeah, potentially. I don't see it staying west. That's for sure.
In which case, again, the Chiefs have put themselves in a good spot regarding that because they're still fairly close by to the majority of the landmass, which is where the circle is going to tend to find itself.
Yep.
But there's also a lot of openings around that northern part of the map. If you really feel like gambling on it, you could get yourself a nice cheeky shack near the shoreline. We'll have to see, though, where the circle is going to end up. So far, not too much of a competition for any of the compounds, really, apart from that one that Champs has managed to get, which was, you know, being investigated by Carnage and investigated by Greyhound.
That's a crucial point in the map, though, for Chiefs to get that.
It's the one that can stop all the rotates, isn't it?
Yeah, great work by them so far. ARCANE looked like they were having a bit of jostle with Chiefs earlier, but since then they've backed off a little bit. But I think you'd be silly not to try and take that diamond compound despite it being occupied.
And that's the beauty of the Chiefs strategy, is that they're always the first ones to their position. Because of Champs, because they move so quickly. And also, speaking of firsts, we do have our first death of this round. It is going to be KANGA suffering that deficit. Immunity striking early. Pardon the pun. 79 players alive now. ARCANE, though, do get a knock onto Edge and a kill. Not sure what's going on there, but Edge just running through the field. He's going to be caught off guard by a couple of ARCANE players. So
and that's good for ARCANE because they're in contention. They're up there towards the top and taking down a Chiefs player. You know you're in the whereabouts of the other Chiefs players. You knock these Chiefs guys out here, 18, 19, I mean, that would be ideal.
That's a real shake-up, isn't it, then?
Yeah.
If Chiefs don't get more points on the board after this, then ATHLETICO really start to feel like they're in with a good shot because while they are still 1,000 points behind, you know, that's only a win or two under the belt of ATHLETICO, and they're right back in it. Even in saying that, though, I don't think we can count Chiefs out so early on in the piece here, even despite losing a player, being 3 versus 4 for the rest of the game. I mean, we've seen them do it before. They've won with only 3 players. They have a really good position there with Champs if they can get the rest of their team there. That's going to be the real linchpin, isn't it?
Absolutely. So we're just going to see McClutch here for the ATHLETICO guys, making his rotate in. And like I said, they've gone for that compound northeast of Severny. So they're
might be running into order.
Yeah, well, they know that as well. They know that's the Order's home ground. Any shots they take, obviously, they will just try and bide their time. Both of those teams want all 4 of their members alive towards that final circle, like we said. Like we suggested as well with Linksy and the rest of the ATHLETICO's guys' style is to get on the edge of that circle and really ride it all the way home. But otherwise, for me, ground zero, I want to see them do something today. This is the first good circle for them. It seems like they flourish really when they have to rotate.
When they have to, yeah. Like you'd think that's an awful circle for ground zero because it's on the other side of the map, isn't it? But that was where they had a lot of their success on day 1 because a lot of the circles were quite far away from Novo. We'll see if the guys on ground zero can make that one work. Now we can see the Chiefs starting to rotate up through Georgopol in towards Champs. They are taking a bit of fire on their way, but as of yet, neither of the 2 remaining rotators have gone down. The real thing for me right now is that AVANT actually haven't done that early sort of a scout that they do like to do. So they're going to have a little bit more trouble finding some positioning. Having a look at this, though. Intergalactic Lads, they're suffering quite a few losses now. And Bruce is the only one left up now for Intergalactic Lads. And well, they need to be careful, otherwise they will be the first one out of this round.
Yeah, and the other thing is that AVANT might just be banking on that circle coming back as well. So Immunity, they've made the move up now as well. They've gone north of Rozok. So everyone is putting a lot of stock into this north side of the island so far, the north part of the circle. But I've just got a feeling it's going to have to come back south eventually. Greyhound, they're still alive. They've survived their early tussle with Kingdom Esports, or Kingdom Gaming rather, sorry. Carnage, they're doing well to stay alive at the moment. They've had a shocking day. They've been the first team out, the second team out. So not a good day for them. Pathogen, I feel like they've finally started to find a little bit of form.
Look at Raging Knights as well.
Yeah, Raging Knights.
Right on the left side of the map, on the western side of the map.
They will be absolutely spewing. They've rotated up through the Primorsk, all the way through the west side of the map. Now they're going to end up in Zaki. And where do they usually go? Zaki or Primorsk.
Zaki or Primorsk, yeah.
And they just haven't gotten any luck today.
The thing is, the way that the plane was, they couldn't really have flown all the way to Zaki. If you remember, it was right through the middle of the map, just a little bit south of, say, Pachinki or so.
Interesting tidbit as well is today Chiefs have just gone Gaka. It's just been consistent.
But I think that's where the circles, rather where the planes have been.
But I mean, yesterday they went to Kameshki, and it worked out perfectly for them. So
Tainted Minds losing quite a significant amount of their numbers. Not sure who is left alive, but I think there is 3 players down now for Tainted Minds. Just Tedesco up.
Wow, the rotate just failing miserably for them. Tedesco was their early scout who got up towards that crash side as well. So you'd have to say that Tainted Minds have had a horrible tournament so far. They'd definitely be wanting to start all over again.
Yep. Can we just restart all those games?
Yeah, maybe tomorrow. Maybe the settings were wrong. Who knows? Not enough flare guns.
I feel like they might even just be out now. Like, there's not really much of a chance for a lot of those lower tier teams now. You know, we've got 4 games left after this one. If you get knocked out early here in Game 5, you basically were needing to win pretty much every game.
Look at ATHLETICO, Jordan. They've made it all the way nearly to
I know, right? They're the team, like, if you had a stat of, like, who drove the furthest or who traveled the most distance, I think ATHLETICO would be winning for this tournament so far.
They're literally the bullet dodgers at this point. The way that they've found their way in there through that rotation. Ground 0, they've found their way up to the east side of the circle, or the old circle. Yeah. And you can just see order have completely moved.
New circles popped as well, Ian. It's fairly central, a little bit leaning towards the eastern side of the map. Vasily knocked out by the blue zone. Unfortunate for him. I don't know if he's going to be getting picked up. Not sure exactly where he did end up going down. Even. But he has died now anyway. Exile picking up that kill. And they're still in the blue as well. So quite a lot of rotating still yet to be done. It looks like Pathogen and Exile kind of ran into each other on that rotate. And Exile coming out a little bit better for it. But Pathogen are still going to be able to get into the circle.
Can't believe this. Chiefs have rotated once again, straight into
the middle,
where Immunity were, and now they're here in this nice and safe part of the map where no one else is. Greyhounds are getting into the thick of it with ARCANE. ARCANE are going to get out of dodge, give up on that fight. But it's Order who are in trouble, I think, because TABOO have got a nice spot on them, and that shooting range is no place to really try and hold.
Trying to get out of the shooting range as well. Like, I mean, at this point, they don't actually have to move out of the shooting range, but inevitably, if they do have to move out of the shooting range, and honestly, like you said, I wouldn't want to be holding in the shooting range. So my priority right now, if I'm Order, is actually getting out of there. There's not a lot of cover, and there's so many hills around it that it makes it really tough to survive when you are stuck in that shooting range, and that's exactly where Order are right now. TABOO kind of camping just the outside there. KANGA is hanging around on the western flank of the shooting range as well. There's again another hill on the western side that they can shoot down from. Admittedly, quite long range, but even still, it's going to be quite tough, I think, for Order to survive in that position.
Yeah, I'd have to say, I think TABOO's position, again, I still think that's a more solid position than Order's.
Have a look at this. SYF now starting to have a bit of a look in towards the shooting range. If they spot out TABOO, who are slightly covered by those trees, if they spot out TABOO, TABOO's in real trouble as well.
That's true, but TABOO have been pretty good teams so far, and SYF, I feel like they've been struggling a little bit in these firefights.
Zidon has spotted out TABOO here. The first knock is going to be going on to Radar. And there is a UAZ down there for the guys on TABOO to work with, but inevitably, SYF are either going to blow it up, or TABOO are going to try and get in, and SYF's going to knock them out.
One thing to mention, if that is the first knock, that means ARCANE players got themselves back up.
Yeah.
So that's good for them. Greyhound are also on a rotate as well, just in the background.
This is not looking good there for TABOO at all. Gadgets is alive, but Cyclops and Rum Rage knocked down. One of their players dead as well, and SYF look like they're going to be quite content with how that's worked out.
If that UAZ goes up, they all go up. So it's quite a risk to take.
Well, the question for me is, why doesn't SYF just blow the US up?
Well, maybe they don't have an AK. Maybe
they might not have the ammo.
A lot of ammo, yeah, sure. But with an M4 or something like that, it can take quite a while to blow one of them up. But it is already smoking. I don't know. Just an interesting decision. But we've seen a few of those throughout the week. Heifer getting some shots onto Kingdom Gaming's music. And that's about all there is to say about that, is that's going to be a ceasefire from there on in. Look at this rotate from Bandit Esports as well, by the way, in the northwest of the island.
Still on the boat.
They've been in the blue for quite a long time, so that's some good management there of the meds.
Raging Knights as well starting to come in from Zaki along the northern coast.
All right, Jordan, I want a prediction.
Who's going to win?
Yep.
Chiefs. They've got such a good position here. I mean, Carnage is close by, but Chiefs are right in the middle of the circle.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have lost a player already, so maybe it is a bold prediction.
I'm
But
just going to go Athletico.
you're going to go Athletic?
Yeah, I mean, I looked at all the others. I can see, you know, Greyhound's pretty comfortable there at Georgia Pole, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to go with Chiefs. I want anyone outside of them.
That's true.
Let's have a look, and I'm going, okay, let's go Athletico. They're
So
about to
Maddox
fight.
not cozy.
Yep.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, well,
Sandman
Arcane as
yelling
well.
Arcane across the desk.
Sorry, Sandman, this is our time to shine. Who's Sandman?
Yeah, I've never heard of him, to be honest. Some nobody.
Well, Raging Knights are in a good fight with Athletico as well. Let's speak of them. They tried to rotate in through Zaki, and they're going to just feed Athletico some meds, hopefully.
Well, that looks like it's going to be the case. Rido's dead. Jumbi under some duress as well. And he's been ditched by his teammates. Guru just scampering off there. And now Jumbi, well, he's in all sorts now, isn't he? Because Athletico are just going to be looking at him. Overwatch. Athletico actually have a fairly decent rotate into the circle now. You know, there's a lot of hill cover for them heading towards the shooting range, which is where the circle kind of has shrunk down onto. So Athletico, I think I agree with you, Ian. They're not a bad shout this game.
Yeah, well, I'm just, you know, just looking at it and just taking an estimated guess. But there's no way we can really...
You can't really tell.
You can't really predict anything looking at the way this game
It's a 1 in 20 gamble right now. All 20 teams are still alive.
Yep. Arcane Greyhound still having a good little jostle down there in the southwest as well.
Exile the UAS patrol. That's all they've got, really.
It's fun to watch that.
Greyhound are having a lot of fights at the moment. Zoid, mate, has gotten the knock there onto Insight. Arcane have been dropping a lot of players, but they've been able to get them up. This time, Insight not going to be getting up from that one.
That's not good for them. But then again, Zoidmate and the crew have got themselves a nice little bit of defilade there inside the circle. A bit of a dusty divot, you could say, and they're going to really take it to Arcane.
Yeah, Arcane is in a very, very difficult spot now. They need to come into the circle. They're right in between Avant, right in between Greyhound. Avant very, very close to Carnage as well, and Immunity going to be jumping right in on top of the Chiefs as well. So everyone that's got a compound is feeling pretty good right now, but everyone that doesn't is in a really, really tough sort of position in terms of where they're going to need to rotate and where they're going to need to come into the circle, because every single team is alive right now. There's not that much cover left.
There's just so much going on that mini-map, Jordan. 2 kills for Immunity. Do you think this is it? Do you think this is their best chance so far?
If they can get the Chiefs out of that compound, sure.
Well,
but they have to go through the Chiefs to get into the circle, and that's not going to be an easy task, is it?
Well, if they can surround it, I mean, you've got Immunity to the east, Carnage to the west, and there are Chiefs stuck in the middle with you.
Problem for Immunity is going to be if Bandits come in behind them as well, which is kind of where Flume is coming. Perhaps he's going to be able to get the timing right, find a couple of those players off guard.
It's just Flume, though.
Yeah, but if Immunity is in a fight with the Chiefs on one front and Flume comes in the back, he can get 2 knocks, and there's Immunity gone.
Yeah, true. Well, Striker's going to give away their position, taking out the cars there onto the... I think that's the Pathogen players, Dacia. So,
I actually really like that compound that Pathogen are in.
Yeah,
Trouble is going to be that it's not really quite central at the moment, so they'll need to be pretty lucky with the circle if they're going to be able to sit in there.
We've got 3 teams there. We've got Pathogen, Intergalactic Lads, and Ground Zero, so it's going to hit the fan for sure.
Certainly is. The next circle going to be popping momentarily, next 15 seconds or so, and that's where we're going to start to see real fireworks come out. Shavsky has gone down to Avant, which means Flume is the last Bandit player alive.
No, Northwest.
Oh, they do actually have Blind Freddy. This is a very interesting strategy, really, for Bandit, isn't it?
They've split up.
Completely split up. All 4 players were in different positions, so I think there's now 3 players left, actually, for Bandit. Because Blind Freddy has got a mate there up in the north.
Arcane onto Avant is going to be the next big deal, I think. There's just Arcane have to rotate through Avant because they know Greyhound's on their left.
Well, that's not a bad circle if you're Order, if you're Taboo, if you're SYF. Again, we go back to that discussion we were having about the shooting range and the lack of cover in there.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it's on the shooting range, Jordan. What kind of circle is this? There's just nowhere to go.
But this southeastern side of the map where you've got Carnage, Chiefs, Immunity, Pathogen, Bandits, Avant, Arcane, that's where the real... fights are going to start in this next circle.
Greyhound up against Atletico here at the crash site. There's no avoiding it. You've got Tedesco, the last player alive for Tainted Minds, and then you got Ludatio for KANGA Gaming as well. So I mean, that whole team is there. They're coming across KANGA Esports, but they better back him up quickly.
Well, this is a very, very crazy circle, isn't it? If we get the map up, you guys are going to see there are so many teams on that southern part of the circle, all vying for very, very little space right now. Critical does knock down another Bandit player, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. Just have a look at that. From KANGA, ATHLETICO, Greyhound, AVANT, ARCANE, Carnage, Chiefs, Immunity, Pathogen, and even SYF are close by. It is going to be an absolute crazy fight down there in that southern part of the map when everyone pushes into that circle.
And there you go, Zoid, mate, getting some more shots onto those unfortunate fellows from ARCANE who are going to have to make that mad dash into this circle, and they're just too late, I feel. There's no chance for them.
In the meanwhile, Onichan has gone down. Not sure if the res is going to be too easy there for Greyhound, but if they can get him up, they will. Looks like that's not going to be the case as McClutch does shut it down, but Zoid, mate, now coming into his own, absolutely destroying ARCANE. I think that's ARCANE done in 20th place. Now only 19 teams left. What a shootout from Zoid, mate.
Only 19 teams left. I can't, it's hard to fathom right now.
I know.
That's the first team out is ARCANE.
Yep.
Woof.
Indeed, woof. Woof indeed. All right, but that's not going to be the only team that drops out. There's 18 left now. Not sure who it was that actually did go down there. Was it Immunity? No, they still have players up. They could be dropping fairly shortly because they are having a shootout with the Chiefs, and right now the Chiefs are winning that one, although Nutshot does peg one back. Champs now down. Critical looking for the trade here, but just can't get the angle there onto Nutshot. This might be a very dangerous situation now for the Chiefs because they are between a rock and a hard place. Immunity is having an opportunity now to shut the Chiefs down out of one of these games and really give the opening for a team like ATHLETICO to shoot up those standings.
What a sick flank that was from P for Potato. Nutshot didn't see it coming. Gets that knockdown onto Critical. I think that's all there is. Yeah, no, he's been... Oh, sorry. Not Critical. Well, that's it. There's just P for Potato on Critical. That's all that's left for them.
And they're both stuck behind the same tree now outside the circle. Immunity have wrapped around them. Chiefs just a little bit too slow to move in. And, oh, this is such a bad position now for the Chiefs. They have to run up the hill right into a crossfire of Team Immunity. And you have to struggle to think how they're going to get out of here.
It's looking like a cemetery already, if you ask me. Greyhounds, they've snuck on by. They've gotten out of dodge and missed a sandwich that could have happened between AVANT and ATHLETICO, and that is quite a fight that is going down over there. Carnage chipping in and mopping up some of the scraps. ATHLETICO look like they might be going out now as well, as AVANT are able to get a quick res up.
Yeah, I mean, Ian, there's so many fights going on around this circle right now. It's impossible to follow them all, but ATHLETICO, they're fighting up against Vanguard right now. Chiefs versus Immunity, and then Pathogen is kind of getting involved in that Chiefs Immunity bout a little bit, and even in the shooting range, Order having a fight, Vanguard having a fight, everything's going on. I think Ground Zero now being knocked out there, or perhaps it was Bandits that got taken down.
No, they still got two.
Regardless, there is so much going on in this final circle. 17 teams still alive, and the next circle is just going to compound upon the issues here for both the Chiefs and for Team Immunity. P for Potato does get the better of Biggie J and keeps the Chiefs alive just for a moment longer. He's still got another Immunity player to deal with, not to mention Pathogen just behind him there as well, and now he doesn't even have a UAS that he can escape in, and he just has to take this fight against Striker. There's no way that he gets out without getting rid of Striker.
Well, there's no way he gets. He doesn't get P for Potato at this point. But
then it's gone. Chiefs are down.
It wasn't even
15th.
him. It was Resolves. Wake up. You know he's been taken down now.
Well, like I said, Pathogen on the other side of the map, they're the ones to get that kill onto the Chiefs. Striker now on
24
on
bullets.
board with that. Yeah, he's really struggling right now, isn't he? I'm not sure what other gun he's got, but gotta hope it's not a 5.56 gun. And like I said, the Chiefs are gone.
Woo!
In 15th place.
We got a game on our hands now.
We do indeed. ATHLETICO are still alive. They've been fighting it out against AVANT, now rotating over, having a bit of a go at KANGA Esports. 2def does go down early on in that fight, and he's going to be confirmed kill for Lynxy.
Okay, this is definitely going to be a good fight for ATHLETICO because just on the other side, we haven't talked about them at all for a while. Order. This is the exact kind of game they really flourish in. In the qualifiers, they found a hut, they found a house, and they just sat in it until the last couple of circles.
There goes Immunity as well in 14th. Extreme with a very long spray down, but he gets the job done in the end. Waikika gets the kill onto Kebab, who may well have been the last player for Ground Zero, I should say.
He was.
So Immunity's gone, Ground Zero's gone, Exile losing a player there, or getting a knock. Greyhound, they only have 2 players left alive, but it's Zoid made an Extreme, so they can absolutely still do some damage here. For the Greyhound team.
They're not even being flanked or anything at the moment. Zoidmate's in a bit of a precarious position, but you do still have TABOO and SYF, who never finished their fight. Now SYF are going to have to try and fight both them and Pathogen Meanwhile, just to say again, Vanguard, they've been mopping up on a lot of people because they have such a superior position to the right of that shooting range. No one has really replied onto them, and I don't see it happening for quite a while.
Oh, well, this is an important passage to play now for Yeti. If he sticks around in this spot here, well, he's sort of in the middle of nowhere. Cryptic stuck between those two cars, but he's going to rejoin his team. Gets out of there just in time because that UAZ goes up in flames. Waikiki still having an impact there for Order. They're racking up the kills right now. An SYF versus Pathogen. That's the fight that we want to have a look at. Pathogen does try to push in onto SYF's position, which is one that they desperately need because the blue is moving in. Wigan might be the last one left up here for SYF, and he does the good.
No way.
He does get the goods across for them, as Yeti does go down. Now Resolves trying to look for the trade, and he gets it. Pathogen dropping SYF out of this round.
That was a bit of a fail there by Yeti, but otherwise Resolves will mop up without a doubt. And that's SYF gone. That was quite a passage of play. There was smoke grenades everywhere, Jordan. It looks a little bit clearer for us than it does for some of the players.
Yep.
But obviously, making the most of that one is Resolves and Taboo. They're going to get away with it because SYF were their biggest threat.
Well, the teams that you've got to be looking at right now are Vanguard and Order. Both of them have 4 players alive, or Order perhaps with 3, but regardless, they have the strong positioning. Avant have got 4. They've also got good positioning actually up the top of this hill.
Yep.
It's really going to come down to where this next circle does go. If teams are going to have to push up that circle into the likes of Avant and the likes of ATHLETICO, when there's a crossfire, it's going to be real trouble.
My bet is southeast. Who knows?
That'd be good for Greyhound. Extreme sitting there, but it's going to go right into the middle again. Order, not in a terrible position, but they are going to have to move out of the refuge of that house in the shooting range.
It's going to be about whether or not Order go before Vanguard, and it looks like now they're both well aware of each other, having a few pot shots here and there. Exile are in a good spot. KANGA Gaming, obviously, Kingdom Gaming, obviously, just coming in from the north, maybe trying to rank tank just a little bit. Zoidmate's got a good spot here. He might be able to take down Defs from Carnage. And Extreme, obviously, he's on the edge of the circle looking for that one floating player from Pathogen.
This is a really smart move here from Order. They want to clear out one side of the circle for themselves. Waikiki leading the charge, but it's Kazarus and Ronan to find the kills. Jesus goes down, Stacky now down. And that's going to be the end of Exile. Kingdom Gaming with Policeman just sitting in the middle of the circle are still alive, but Order have at least cleared up that northern side of the map.
Yep, and you can see here, Nefahor has got it up against himself right now. He's taking on 4 of the ATHLETICO members. And he comes out on top, taking down Kaysoon at the moment.
Yeah, but just too many Avant players there. Nefahor is now down. The chances of him being revived slim to none, as Lynxy is just going to be bailing out of there, which is the smart move for ATHLETICO. They are really in with a chance of catching up to Chiefs here if they have a good result. But right now, if they get knocked out now, that's 9th place, and that's not good enough for ATHLETICO to really catch up too significantly.
I don't know what Lynxy's going to do here, but Order have been playing magnificently today. And I think they're in a really good position, actually. This is their day. Even though Chiefs have done quite well, I mean, the Order are making small gains on that leaderboard, or large gains, rather, considering their position at the start of the
That's ATHLETICO.
Second last.
ATHLETICO out in 8th. Avant going to be pleased about that one. And they've got 5 kills now, so they are having a pretty good game as well. All 4 players alive. So it's Order versus Avant now, as far as I'm concerned. Those two teams, both with 4 alive, both with good positioning in the circle. Trouble is going to be here for Avant. How much cover do they actually have on this side of the hill that is in the circle?
And I think what we need to keep count of is the scores as well. I mean, you can see here, these guys have only got the 1 kill, Policeman, and the rest of the other guys from Kingdom Gaming. So you can see Order, they've been doing well. They've wiped out an entire squad, you know, in Exile and whatnot. Vanguard now, they've been doing extremely well. Taboo have been camping quite a bit there. I think Greyhound, they've got about at least 5 kills so far, maybe more. And, Extreme under fire here from Avant as well, just to the south off camera. But, yeah, this is a definitely crazy game of chess here in the cemetery. Or cemetery?
Shooting range. It will be the cemetery.
It's going to be a cemetery.
Yeah. Zoidmate gets rid of Sunny. Carnage, I think that knocks them down now. As Vanguard, Taboo, and Order control the shooting range. Avant, Greyhound in the hills. And then Kingdom Gaming, they're sort of in the little defilades, the little slopes that are outside of the shooting range.
It's a turkey shoot, that's what it is. Vanguard have done well. They've done very well to stay alive at this point. To be honest, their positioning, their rotations have been great. I don't know if they are aware of TABOO. That's the thing for me.
I agree. I mean, TABOO has not been having any fights, really. They were early on having a fight against SYF, but they got taken down by PATHOGEN, and I think TABOO have just been playing quite statically, quite passively, I should say, in their position. They're not really giving anything away and just waiting for the other teams to deal with each other. Extreme under pressure now here from DJ Arnie. Vanguard not in a bad spot until TABOO peek their heads up. That's where things kind of go bottoms up, but TABOO not able to capitalize on that.
This is a terrible position for Zoid, mate, compared to where AVANT are.
What
a great grenade.
Yeah, the grenades that we've been seeing coming out of these players so far have been absolutely sublime. You go back to the Chiefs one earlier on the military base. That one was awesome as well. But AVANT, they have to now push down off this hill, and that means that they're going to be running out of their cover. You know, there's not a lot of trees to use when you're running down that hill. So it's going to be up to the other teams now to kind of deal with them, be a shooting gallery as AVANT try to rotate their position into the circle. Now TABOO gone, absolutely decimated there by Vanguard. Similarly, Vanguard suffering some losses there, courtesy of Order.
Yeah, but DJ Arnie just went absolutely ham, taking down all of TABOO single-handedly almost. So nice work from him. Just the one remaining player from Greyhound, something that I think Vanguard can deal with, or if need be, take that. AVANT will deal with it instead. So Greyhounds are now out in 5th.
Order doing a really good job of controlling all sides of the map. But you can see they know exactly where AVANT is. They've got knocks on them. They're getting knocks onto the Kingdom Gaming guys out in the field. They know exactly where Vanguard are as well. But now suffering some losses of their own as Nick using the crate as cover. He's got himself an M24 and an 8X. This is pretty much the perfect position to be in with a gun like that.
Yeah, he's probably one of the best snipers for AVANT as well. You hear Xenox talk about him all the time. It's like a secret love affair that's not really a secret. But we do still have 2 Kingdom Gaming players alive still under all this. And as I say that, Yasu's going to go down to Waikikamuka, so Order aren't out yet. 9 kills. 9 kills. And only the 2 remaining for them. So that's why it's definitely not only literally going to be an uphill battle for them, but AVANT doing very well.
Yeah, that's going to be Kingdom Gaming now gone, I believe. No, Woods is still alive, hanging in there. So many times I've thought Kingdom Gaming have been out. Their position not so fun at all. There we go. Finally, they'll get knocked down by Order. Now really trying to contest up against AVANT and Vanguard. AVANT looking a bit worse for wear, having lost a few players. Nick trying to do his best to just put some damage in there. And DJ Arnie, he is just rank tanking right now, waiting for these 2 teams to finish each other off. And Order, they had a great game in the first one of today up against the Chiefs, who they ended up losing to. They finished 2nd place, but they had so many kills. Now's an opportunity for Order to finally pick up a win.
Well, definitely looking at this last circle as well, that's going to be real tough for AVANT. It's very similar to the other one we saw against Order versus Chiefs. It was a complete deja vu, except now we've got three of the squad alive. So it's going to be very tough for AVANT to get down this hill unscathed. Now, DJ Arnie, he's in a great position, like you were saying. He can really flank on through to Order. Seems like he's a forgotten entity. They are keeping mindful of him, but if he can just pick his timing correctly, he can either take down a couple of the AVANT players and secure 2nd place, or he can wait until the end and see what he can do there.
Well, it's still winnable for DJ Arnie here. If AVANT and Order absolutely go ballistic at each other and he comes in at the right time, you know, maybe 1 or 2 players on each team are knocked. It's a very real possibility. But now DJ Arnie starting to get involved there with the Mini 14, does knock down Kassoon. Nick on the flank here. This could be a masterstroke for AVANT. He's not really landing the shots that he needs to, though, and has to fall back as the blue now pushing him in. He's out of cover. Order know exactly where he is. And Kozzy actually saving his life just for a moment there. Ronan not able to land the shots that to get Nick down. But it's just all sorts right now. It's really quite difficult to tell who's actually going to come out of this one with the advantage. Both teams suffering losses, and then of course DJ Arnie is kind of a little mosquito in the thorn in the side for both of these 2 teams. But he will go down to Waikikamuka, and now Order just have to focus on those remaining AVANT players. It's not going to be enough. Order closing it out there. AVANT in 2nd, and Order finally picking up their 1st victory.
They've been playing phenomenally so far today, and I really like their style. They're just taking all the fights. They're clearing out positions as a team, working together as a unit. And that's what we wanted to see. That's what we saw from Chiefs on day 1, but really no one else was keeping up. Ground Zero were doing pretty well as well, but that was mostly just because of superior positioning. I want to see these teams that are versatile. They're able to take fights to other teams. They're able to get the good rotations in, and I think that's definitely what we've been seeing from Order today. And AVANT mopping up with 2nd, I think another great game from them considering how far they had to rotate.
A better result as well there for Greyhound in 5th place with quite a few kills, but we'll see if it's going to be enough as we head into tomorrow. For now, though, we're going to go back over to the analyst desk and see what our friends over there have to say.